Okay, what better thing to do than to vlog right now? Because that's just what our generation does. When something happens to you, you just vlog about it, right? Your girl got a flat tire. I was trying to go to work, obviously, and my mom texted me this morning and was like, hey, there's a lot of traffic on the interstate. Maybe you should try to do another route on the way to work so then you can avoid it because there was a big accident. I was like, cool, got it. Put it in my phone. And of course, when you take detours sometimes, you're going to this stoplight, then to this stoplight, then to this stoplight, because I'm in the country, okay? This is just how it works. The car starts rattling and starts making weird noises, and I'm like, when's the last time I did an oil change? Louder, and then I was like, that sounds like my tire, but I was like, I don't know, I just need to pull over. So I turned on my hazards, pulled over. Girl, this rim is touching the gravel. My car was riding on metal. Thank goodness I have roadside assistance on my insurance. So I have roadside coming to get me. I do not have a spare tire, I am pretty sure. Honestly, let's look for a spare tire together. This is the current tire situation, and I'm at some random person's house. I'm not gonna film their house, but thank goodness they have a long gravel road. So I've sent people my location, so I'm good. See if there's a spare tire. I mean, I don't think so. Reading a book until a tow company comes. My boyfriend was like, do you have a spare in the car? And I was like, I don't know. So I went back there and I saw the spare. And so I immediately had this great idea, and great is sarcasm, to call the towing company and be like, you know what? I have a spare tire. Don't worry about it. Don't come tow for me. So I literally called the towing company and I was like, don't come tow for me. I'm fine. I've got a spare tire. And then my boyfriend was like, so you gonna change it? And I was like, you right. Which he very well could have left work to come and change my tire, or I could have tried to figure it out, but I don't have a jack. I don't have the little metal thing that you use to undo the bolts. So it's like, you know how whenever you go to church sometimes and something so minor happens and then the pastor somehow makes it into a big message? Well, that's what I'm about to do, okay? I realize I have a problem with help. I have a problem with when something happens, I'm immediately like, it's fine. I got it. It's fine. Whatever. It's fine. My limb's half off. It's fine. It's okay. Oh yeah. Did I tell you I'm wearing a boot? Yeah, I sprained my ankle. It's a lot going on nowadays. I'm gonna talk about the car instead. So, oh, they're calling me. Hold on. Y'all, look at this. So like I told you, I got a boot on. This little patch thing came out of my boot. We just gonna be country and just stuff it back in there. It's fine. We got bigger fish to fry. Ain't nothing out here. Look at this. Got me out here in no man's land. I have a problem with receiving help, and I don't know, just I want to have this savior complex where a problem comes up and I fix it. I don't know, maybe it's like deeply rooted in like an ego thing where I want to be able to say that I solved the problem. I don't feel like I'm that way. That's what therapy's for. This is him. An old, nice man.
Yeah, there's the boys over at that address.
Yeah. Oh, it sent you over there?
Never know.
Yeah, that's true. Glad you found me, though. Oh, Jesus. All right. Whew. I also, with my clumsy self, stepped into an anthill. There were ants crawling all over my boot, so I had to like shake it out, and then man's talking to me and I'm like, it's been a day. Great stuff is being done. I don't even know this man from Adam, so this also could be a document in case something happened to me. You know how whenever you wear high heels and if you're not careful, your ankle could go real fast? Yeah. So my ankle went and the crazy thing is it didn't hurt the next day. It didn't hurt the day after that, but that third day, whenever I was catching myself and I'd like tripped, like it didn't hurt, like it didn't feel spraying or anything like that. I was just like, oh snap, I almost fell, and then I sat down and went about my day. But I guess I sprang it, and me continued to walk on it because I thought everything was fine. By those next couple of days, my body was like, yeah, no, we're not okay. And so I actually ended up walking on this ankle with taking nothing, none of that stuff, for a week because I was like, it's fine, it's just gonna stop. And yeah, it didn't. So one day I woke up and I couldn't even put any pressure on my ankle. I was wobbling for that week, like I said, when I was like, it's fine, it'll go away. But then a whole week went by, and then that like 7th day, my ankle was like, we're tired of you, we're hurting right now. So I had to call in off of work, which is very rare for me. I'm that person that I'm like, I'm bleeding, but I'm showing up, I'm here. I went to the clinic, they gave me some ibuprofen, and they gave me this boot. So here we are. You're all caught up. Welcome to my life. Everything's great. And I need a good thumbnail. Important to have an emergency fund because life be lifing. As you can see, I got a boot, okay? And my car getting towed. I'm gonna have to pay for this stuff, right? So a good thing I got a good emergency fund saved up, and by good I mean it's more than 1,000, so that'll help me. If you needed a sign to start saving for an emergency fund, let me be that girl, your sister, best friend, cousin, to let you know now is the time to start saving for emergency fund. Even if it's like $100, $50, $30, that's better than nothing. Right now I'm trying to save $60 a month. I would like to go up to 100, but I'm trying to pay off my debt as well. So all right, we gearing up, here we go. So another thing about adulting, so whenever my insurance is like, okay, it looks like you need a tow, here are some places that we recommend. Well, they were apparently recommending me to places that like sell cars and stuff like that. And so I got to talking to the tow man, and he was saying, well, where you headed? And I told him, and he said, well, that place only sells cars, it can't even get you a tire. And I'm like, nobody tells you these things. Now we have stopped at a different place to see if I can get a replacement tire or get my boot on. Ladies, you may or may not know this, but your spare tire will either be in the front of your car or the back of your car. So, tire was back here in the back of my car. This gentleman, which, I mean, I'm gonna take him by his word because that's all that you can pretty much do, but he said that every time he has his guys do oil changes for cars, he has them also check spare tire for air, if the spare tire has air in it, because people don't check the spare tire, and then when it's time to use it, the spare tire doesn't have air. So if you're on the side of the road and you want to, and you have no choice, you got a flat tire like me, and you're trying to change it, and you're using your spare, and your spare has no air in it, doesn't really make sense. So he just checked my spare tire, and he put some air in it. So maybe have the technician check that whenever they're doing your oil change. I'm learning so much today, so much. And these angles are horrible, but I also don't want to show the entire shop. So that's why the angles aren't so great. Oh, that's a pretty car. Anyway. Okay, so update. I have officially left. Wait, I'm getting text messages when I'm trying to get my directions. Okay, I'm trying to drive and trying to make sure I'm headed to the right direction. So you're gonna be a little shaky. I do have my donut on, no faster than about 50 miles per hour. Even though I know how to change a tire, I don't think that I'm built for that life. Glad that I have roadside assistance with my insurance. Was in a location that didn't have good internet access. I could not research where these places were. I had no choice. Like, I literally picked a place that had the word auto in it, and I was like, yeah, sure, let's go with that. That's what I did. Actually, I think I was supposed to stay straight. Dang it. That's fine. We'll go with it. And they gave me like a good 30 options, which is good. However, like, the insurance don't know where you're trying to take your car, right? So I had to use all of my internet juice on just the app trying to put in the request to get some assistance. The gentleman came to tow my car, y'all saw that, and I was talking to him and I was like, yeah, this is where I'm trying to go. He was like, oh, well, I go there all the time and they don't do anything for cars. I was like, excuse me? They don't, what do you mean? It has auto in the name. What do you mean? And he was like, yeah, so I tow there all the time. They don't do anything for cars. So what we could do is, I have an auto shop and we can go there and do something for your car. And don't get me wrong, I was sitting there like, So I was like, I don't know, that seemed a little sketchy. Like, is this what he does? Does he like pick people up and then he just like goes and takes them to the shop, and then as in the shop, like I'm gonna be butchered on the wall? Like, I seen the movies. I seen how people be trying to use little segues to try to kill somebody, right? I made sure to have my phone out and like videotape some things. Not videotape him, but I made it seem like I was FaceTiming someone, but really I was talking to y'all. So I don't know if he assumed that I was FaceTiming or if I was videotaping. Who knows? Also made sure to have my volume on, so whenever I was taking pictures, he could hear that too. So your girl watched too many crazy shows. No ma'am. No ma'am, this is not gonna happen. This is not gonna be a Handmaid's Tale situation, okay? Do I think that could happen? Yes, absolutely. So I was like, nope, we're not doing this. I don't know you, you don't know me. We're gonna protect ourselves, okay? He ended up taking me to a shop. It was a legitimate shop. It wasn't like some kind of hole in the wall type of thing. There were workers there. It was all good. So I was like, okay, cool. This still could be a little something, so stay on your toes, but it seems like it's all right. We get there and he's like, hey, it's gonna cost $145 for one tire. I said, no. So let's just get the donut on. Okay, he put the donut on. I also had like a little flappy do. I call it a flappy do, but I had a little metal piece that had been sticking out at the bottom of my car for quite some time that I had been avoiding, because like, how do you go up to a random mechanic shop and say, can you fix my little flippy do? And then they don't charge you a lot of money, right? So kind of just been sitting on that and hearing it scratch against the ground and being like, it's fine. So thank goodness I thought about that, and I was like, hey, can you go ahead and fix that while you're here? Because I'm sitting here thinking, well, if I'm gonna have to pay money, let's just do this. So he puts the donut on and he repairs the little flappy do underneath, or one of his guys do. He does not do it. My mom finally got back with me because apparently she left her phone at the house. Anyway, he gave me a quote for all 4 of my tires, and that's going to be a negative Ghost Rider, like $673 for all 4 tires. And he said that they're going to also have to order the tires. I would have to give them a day's notice if I decide to go with them. And I was like, no. Trying to go anywhere from the range from like $300 to $500, because after I was looking at my tires, the tread, like, you know how whenever you're supposed to take I think it's a quarter and you're supposed to stick it in the tread of your tire. If your tread covers up until the face, let me grab my wallet so y'all can know what I'm talking about, because right now I know I sound like I'm crazy. I think it's your quarter, or maybe it's your penny. I can't remember. Oh, this looks like a fancy quarter. Okay, let's focus. So if you take a coin, you see how it has the face of the president, right? So you should be able to stick it in the tread. Again, do your research, because I forget if it's a quarter or if it's a penny, but it might be a penny, since a penny's more common for people of any income bracket as opposed to a quarter. But we're doing this with a quarter. And the tread meets with the face of the, or like the eyeball of the president, or the individual that's represented on whatever currency you have. That means that that's good tread. But for example, if I were to put this on my tire, there's an airplane going by. The tread was about, I ain't even lying to y'all, about right here. Yeah, and I drive back and forth a good 45 miles every day. You know, it's about that time. This is where it goes back to the emergency fund thing. It's important to have one, because then when situations like this shows up, then you could be able to buy tires just like that, which is probably exactly what I'm gonna do. My mom says she's got some connections in the surrounding area. I don't know what that means. I think that just means she knows people. I don't think my mom really has connections. Like, Mom, what do you mean you have connections? What does that mean? Yep, gonna have to get 4 new tires. Another thing that I was discussing that I wanted to elaborate more on, whenever he was grabbing the donut out of my vehicle, which ladies, and I say ladies because most of us, we like, when it comes to cars. The donut can be in the front of your car, it could be in the back of your car. You can Google it, figure out where it's at. It's usually up underneath some stuff. You'll figure it out, right? Okay. So also, the gentleman that had the auto shop said, which happened to be the tow worker too, so he is dipping in several pots. He making a lot of money. He told me that he usually tells his guys that work for him, his technicians, that whenever a car comes in for an oil change, go ahead and also check the air pressure of the donut. And I was like, why would you do that? And when I say donut, I'll use spare tire, donut interchangeably. A donut is a spare tire. just in case nobody is understanding what I'm saying. And he was just explaining to me, yeah, so you're on the side of the road like you are. Somebody comes and change your donut, right? Well, what are you gonna do if your donut air is low? I was like, oh, that's smart. And he was like, then you're literally in the same boat that you were in when you started. He was like, nobody thinks about airing up the donut. And I was like, oh my gosh, this man has got wisdom. Go ahead and check that. Maybe you should do it like every 3 months or something. Kind of like whenever you change your air filter in your house. Yeah, maybe you should. Maybe this is for somebody that needs to check it. But I never would have thought of that. So that was very wise. I don't know if I'm just on this kick where I'm like, let me soak in all of the information that I could possibly get, but I truly feel like that was a gem. Like, that was unfortunate that it happened, of course, but I have the insurance, I have the roadside assistance, and I had a gentleman that was nice enough to tell me, look, I can drop you off over here to do the tow, but you're going to end up paying double the money, or you can come to my shop. Was it sketchy? Was I like, Lord, please protect me? I don't know this man. Is he trying to kill me? Yes, but it ended up working out, and he didn't even charge me. Now, I say that now, it could be on my insurance and I could be getting charged later, but he did not charge me at the facility for fixing the little dooley-dop underneath my car, and he didn't charge me for putting the donut on. So now, again, like I said, it could show up later and I could be charged later. But for right now, I was not charged leaving his shop. So, and he was in a hurry. He needed to go do something about some wipers. And he actually sped off faster than I did out of his shop. So that's the story about my car being towed. I recognize that we live in a society where people feel like they have to document everything. But at any time, if I feel like what I'm documenting is truly going to help somebody, some other woman, you know, or not even just women, but some other individual that's completely clueless about the whole situation and shed some light on something, I'm gonna do it. So I've done enough talking. See y'all in the next one. Peace.